Good afternoon. I'm Lauren Rose Hoffland, and you're watching League TV, a service of the League of Women Voters of Sheboygan County. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan, grassroots political organization established in 1920 that advocates for informed and active participation in government. Our members are women and men who work to improve our systems of government and impact public policies through education and advocacy. The League neither supports nor opposes candidates for office at any level of government. Today, we are interviewing John Ranieri, one of two candidates for alderperson in the city of Sheboygan, District 2. Our interview with Roberta Felicki-Pineski, the appointed incumbent candidate, may also be found on League TV. John, before we begin the interview, we want to thank you for agreeing to meet with us today and also for investing your time and resources in running for office.
Thank you for having me today, Lauren.
Again, thank you for joining us. So the first question is, I think, an easy one. What makes you the better candidate for alderperson in District 2?
Well, I have many qualifications to make me a good candidate. I've owned a business here for almost 8 years in the community, four-of-a-kind restaurant and bar. I've owned a home improvement company in the Milwaukee area. I belong to the Chamber of Commerce, Holy Name Usher Society, the Tavern League of Sheboygan County, the Wisconsin Restaurant Association. I volunteer in various community programs, the EMOOS meal program at Holy Name. We do different fundraisers, participate in beach cleanups in the summertime. And I actually have my whole career has been in management of different businesses.
Thank you. So the roads in your district are in various stages of disrepair. The city has a timeline for resurfacing or replacing of most roads. Are you satisfied with the current plan and the funding of that plan? And if not, how would you fund a more aggressive timeline?
Well, the funding of the roads and the timeline is a good question. I don't know the exact timeline that is set up with the city right now as far as that goes. The funding can always be found in different ways by balancing the budget to allow those funds for the roads. They are pretty bad in many areas in District 2, Geely Avenue, 6th Street, Superior Avenue, Michigan Avenue. They're all in need of great repair. If we want to do something like that without trying to raise taxes on anybody, because nobody wants that. The better way to do it is figure out ways to get it done while lowering taxes.
Very good, thank you. Advocate Aurora has 3 years from the opening of the new Aurora Hospital to demolish the current Memorial Hospital. What are your concerns about any potential uses for this property?
Well, potential uses, hopefully we're not going to be putting up any more high-end apartments in the area. We already have plenty of those, and we need affordable housing for people entering the community and current citizens in Sheboygan. Hopefully put up some recreational park area in that. It's a very big lot to fill.
It is. So diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI, has been actively discussed over the past few years in schools, businesses, and government. What does DEI mean to you? And do you think the city should invest in programs and policies to promote it?
We absolutely should invest in policies and to promote diversity and inclusion in our community. We want to make sure that everybody knows that they're welcome in Sheboygan and that we want to make everybody feel like they can make it their home. I think Sheboygan is on its way and currently is a very inclusive city, and they try to make everybody feel comfortable. In my business alone, that's one of the things that we try to make everybody feel like it's their second home. The bar area, people feel like it's a Cheers type setting where you can come in and everyone knows your name. So I think that's very important in the community.
Thank you. So speaking of small businesses, such as yours, many small businesses have suffered during the pandemic. What can the city do to help?
Well, the city has some grant programs currently that are helping. They have a grant program for the facades of buildings, which I think is very helpful in making businesses look more attractive to people that want to come into them. Getting new businesses into our community is something that Sheboygan really needs to focus on. Also, there's a lot of empty storefronts on A Street, and they're starting to fill up a little bit on Indiana and Michigan Avenue, but there's still some empty buildings, and it'd be great through the different programs that are currently available that we focus on getting some new business into the area.
Thank you. In the past few years, high lake levels have caused erosion, impacting both public and private properties. What do you feel is the city's responsibility to pay for mitigation efforts to protect the shoreline on private properties?
Well, it's a very important thing to all the residents that are living right on the lake for their properties. As far as the city, we should, there are different grant programs through the federal and state governments that we could look at taking advantage of to help the residents that live right on the lake with seawalls and other things.
Two major utility-related projects are planned within the next 5 years: lining of major sanitary sewer pipes and new water intake pipes. How is the city going to minimize water and sewer rate increases?
Well, that's a good question. I don't have a great answer for something like that. Not that involved in the city right now to have a good answer, but obviously minimizing any rate increases is the #1 priority.
Okay, thank you. Not everybody in the Volrath Park neighborhood appreciates the summer food truck night. What are your feelings on food truck night? And should neighbors have a voice in whether this continues?
Well, neighbors should definitely have a voice on whether it continues. Me personally, I live 2 blocks from the food truck night. My family really enjoys going down there on Mondays and taking advantage of the food trucks that are around there. There could be some possible things that we could do as a community to keep the noise down, or whatever the issues are with the residents that are lining Volrath Park there, to make sure that's enjoyable for everyone.
Thank you. Although the city has made significant strides towards the building of affordable housing, do we need to do more?
Absolutely, we need to make sure that we have good quality affordable housing. There's a lot of older buildings in the Sheboygan apartment buildings that they're there as affordable housing, but they're old and beat up, and not necessarily someplace somebody wants to live just because it's affordable. So it's something that we should focus on.
The city has adopted a $3.7 million master plan for improvements to the J.C. Quarry Park. Are you in favor of this expenditure, and how will we pay for it?
Well, if the Quarry Park is in need of improvements, we definitely should be looking at it, whether it's $3 million that we need to spend on it or not. I would have to look better at the plans and what $3 million is getting spent for. There's always things that can be done without spending that kind of money, especially if it's not necessarily in the budget to pay for it. Because again, we don't want to raise taxes for something that doesn't necessarily need to be done.
Thank you. And this is our last question. What kind of development would you like to see on the former Armory site?
Well, on the former Armory site, it'd actually be nice to see some recreational development there. Perhaps a park, maybe an ice skating rink for the public to use. Be great to have something like that in the city here.
All right. Thank you so much for taking the time to interview with us today, John. The League of strongly encourages all who are eligible to vote in the upcoming general election on April 6th. If you are not registered to vote, you may sign up easily on myvote.wi.gov, or you may contact your local municipal clerk for more information. Other League TV interviews may be found on our website, including our conversations with candidates for the mayoral race here in Sheboygan and the Sheboygan Area School District Board of Education. Again, John, thank you for joining us. We wish you luck in your campaign and on election day.
Thank you again for having me, Lauren.
You're welcome.